Senator Scott.
So can I ask you, and maybe I don't understand the law well enough, but if somebody comes, let's say they come from a country that they don't want to accept the individual back, but they get into Mexico, and then they come to the United States. Why shouldn't that be Mexico's problem? Why shouldn't we just say, you're the one that let them into your country? I mean, why? I don't get why it's our problem. It's their problem. If you don't want to do it, I mean, I've raised their tariffs until they do it. I mean, they're the ones that open their border, right, to allow them into the United States.
It is, Mexico has long had very permissive entry into Mexico, and they're very happy to shuttle people along to our border. I agree with you 100%. We talk about MPP and Agreement of Mexico and so forth. But one of the changes in the universe of illegal immigration to our borders now is how much of the rest of the world other than this hemisphere is showing up there. Well, I think Mexico would start to finally develop some vetting for people coming into Mexico if we dumped everybody back into Mexico. And there are people in this room I'm sure wouldn't like that, and it would be ugly for a period of time. But if people knew they could not get into the United States, and they wouldn't be allowed to wait around for the 1,013 days for the hearing that they wouldn't show up for, they won't come in the first place overwhelmingly, which again also allows you to properly treat the people playing by the rules who are also delayed because of all of these backlogs.
So why don't we do it?
I think it's just a question of political will. We want to be cooperative with Mexico.
When they're not cooperative with us.
When they're not cooperative with us. When Donald Trump rattles the tariff sword, as he did in 2019, they need us economically more than we need them. And I would say one of the mistakes people make is to think of Mexico as an ally. Mexico is not an ally to the United States. It is a neighbor, and we want to get along with our neighbors. But not all neighbors are allies, and Mexico operates in many ways that are very inimical to the well-being of the United States and our security and the people who live here. And I think that, frankly, a period of being much tougher, as you described, Senator, will result after you get through that hump and the difficulty that will arise with Mexico because they won't want to be treated that way, that they will adjust. They will adjust. When Mexico wants to be tough with their immigration laws, they are so much faster than we are, and they are so much tougher than we are. It would shock you to see the comparison.
So do you think the cartels should be designated as terrorist organizations?
I actually don't support that because with the current foreign terrorist organization designation statute, that sweeps in a massive proportion of the people in northern Mexico who you wouldn't really want to be targeting. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's because that statute was really drafted to get after cells, not an organized crime entity that has integrated itself into the community and frankly is a de facto government in many parts of Mexico. We do need a new statute to give the president the tools, the Treasury the tools to get after the cartels, both as a matter of kinetic action and when that's appropriate, you all set the boundaries on that, and to get after their finances, which frankly I think you should be unleashed a great deal more on.
So Trump has said he's going to do all these executive orders to secure the border day one, right? So what does he need besides what he's got the authority to do under the executive orders?
Well, as I mentioned earlier in response to the chairman's comments, I think it is a lot simpler under current authority to secure the border than it is to deal with the rest of the problem. All of the backlogs we were talking about, that takes congressional support and help. The deportation effort that the president has talked about is going to be complicated. It is logistically challenging, and it will take support from the Congress to really accomplish that.
Is it money or laws?
Both. We talked about Flores. That's one you're all familiar with. It's an incredible hurdle to running an orderly immigration system, all from one judge in California, 30 years ago. And you all can fix those things. TVPRA, as Senator Langford mentioned, there are some major holes that weren't known at the time, say TVPRA, Flores created itself, but that really only Congress can fix.
Did you add something?
Yeah, I mean, with respect to TVPRA, I have no doubt that it was passed with the best of intentions. In fact, I knew many of the people who worked on it. But it has truly had the worst results, Senator Scott. Kids are trafficked today because of TVPRA. President Obama asked Congress in, I believe it was June of 2014, to close the loophole. Congress didn't act. Washington Post said that it inadvertently provides incentives to non-Mexican children to come to the United States. When Ken Cuccinelli, Barack Obama, and the Washington Post all agree on something, it's probably time to take action.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you want to make a comment? Go ahead.
Sure, thank you. I mean, I would point out the Flores Agreement prohibits locking up children for more than 20 days, but